Hey friends, today is a long-awaited mystery matchup video. I haven't done one of these in a while, but here we are. It's evidenced by the fact that there is dust on my jars. But today we're going to do a mystery matchup. I have sold 10 or 15 pens since the last time I did a mystery matchup, and I have not updated this jar, and I have 3 or 4 probably new pens that are not in here, which is okay because those are probably all inked anyway and would not I would not want to unink them to put to mystery matchup them. But the inks are pre-mixed. I don't think I've gotten really any new inks in the last several months, so it should be pretty up to date. Just the pens. We'll see what happens. I'm not real sure. So let's do this. We're gonna ink 3 pens. Again, I have veto power for any reason. Some pens, if they're inked, I may not want to unink them to re-ink them with something different. A very select few pens, I may not want to put a shimmer ink in. Yeah, I mean, I can veto. Obviously, it's my video, but let's see what we get. So let's dive in here. Lamy Safari Neon Coral. I don't like using safaris. Didn't we use this ink the last time? I feel like I used this ink the last time. I'm gonna skip it, I'm just am. Feels like it was used recently. Okay, DeAtramentis Blue Black. It's a sample. Let me see if I have it. I do. So the first one, Lamy Safari, Neon Coral. I believe this was my second fountain pen ever. And Blue Black. All right, number 2. I'm going to keep that in frame. Kaweco Sport Skyline Pink with a medium nib. Cute, cute. And the ink choice, DeAtramentis Scented Violets. This is one of my favorite purples. So I'll pull that out in a minute. Number 3. So far, so good on not pulling pens that are already inked. Esterbrook Esty Blueberry Gold with a broad nib. Here it is. Make sure it has a broad nib on it. It does. And that's going to be paired with, again, those inks are pre-mixed. That's why I'm not like trying to dig around in there. That's another purple. Let's not do another purple. Birmingham Pen Co. Boiler Steam, and it's a sample. Is this? My camera looks foggy to me for some reason. All right, so let me grab these other 2 inks and we will ink them. Okay, here we are. It took me a few minutes to find this in a big box of samples, but I have all of the pens and inks, and so let's get them going. Let me get an Inkapet. How about an Inktopuss with her summer outfit on? Isn't she cute? Inkapet is the best. Did you see their Instagram that they have a coloring book that they are releasing? I am very excited to see that in person when they start selling them on their website. So I'll have to update you All right. I'm not real excited about this. The Lamy Safari is not my favorite pen. This also has a medium nib on it, so I need to see if I have a spare or if I need to swap with my neon yellow one. I gave away a Safari to a family member, and I vaguely remember that I may have given her a spare nib so she could play around with it. This was my first fountain pen, my first like modern fountain pens as an adult. Anyway, and I think maybe I got a Metropolitan or something in between these, but this one was one of the first 3 or 4, this neon coral one. Because I didn't know much beyond Safaris, you know, and Metropolitans. Let's see. Don't think I got any ink into the... How much ink is in here? It's enough. You know, I probably should shake this ink up because I've had it for quite a long time. It looks fine, you know, like it looks like it's safe to use visually, but all right, now let's see if I can get this deep enough to actually drop some ink. Doesn't look like it. I think there's enough ink in there. Why isn't it coming up? There we go. I'm not doing a full fill because I never do. You know what? I think there might be less ink in there than I thought there was. I think it's just sticking to the sides and making it look full. So let me find a towel. Oh, and I will show you the swatch card for these inks. Oh no. Yeah, this is one of those samples that's been in my collection for years, so I hope it's still good. We'll find out. If it doesn't dry on the paper, then we'll know that it has dried out in the sample vial, you know, and is too viscous. All right, there's number 1 after a bit of drama. All right, number 2, DeAtramentis Violet. This is a scented ink, and I didn't realize I left that drawer open. And it does smell quite strong. But I love this purple. I do not mind the scent because it only lasts on the paper. Like, it lasts in the pen. The scent stays in the pen for a long time. But it only lasts on the paper for a little while. So, you know, like really until it dries is it noticeable. I'm looking for a short Kaweco converter. I'm gonna have to look in my pens and see if I can find one. There's one. Boy, this video is not as easy as I thought it would be. It's not bad. I'm not complaining. Just saying. I thought I'll do this real quick, and it's like every turn there's something. So these converters are not the best. They're just, you just pull them up. So the hard part might be getting this short pen. Oh, it's actually working fine. Draw it up. I'm only going to fill it about halfway. This ink is what I keep in one of my Pilot Custom 823s. My fine nib has been inked with DeAtramentis Scented Violet for a year or more. I mean, more than a year. It was the first ink that I ever put in that pen, and it's the only ink I've ever had in that pen. I think I've refilled it a couple of times, and I really like it. So that one's ready to go. And then last but not least, this one was sent to me by Robin from Talks with the Heart. Took me a minute to find it because she sent me like 24 inks, I think. So I had to do a little digging to find this one. It's got a little crusty around the edges there, just over time. And this blueberry Esty was one of their limited ones, and I almost didn't get it, and then I've almost sold it a few times, but every time I use it, I'm glad that I have it. Like, it is really pretty. I cannot remember exactly what kind of color this boiler's theme is, so you and I might be surprised together. I don't think it's the same blue as this pen. I think it's more of a teal. So, oh, where did all the ink go? Y'all, where did the ink go? Did I not ink this? What's wrong with me? Okay, you see this, right? It's like more than halfway full. What happened to the ink that was in there? I'm wiping this on a towel over here. I don't know if that's in frame. Sorry, I'm not thinking well about what I'm doing. I've made a mess. I've got ink all over the threads. Oh man, my brain. Okay, there's the ink. I don't know what happened to the ink. That I did just really not get much in there the first time and it just kind of went into the feed. I don't know. That makes me feel crazy. I'll have to go back and watch the footage and see if I can see what happened. And I got that ink all over my hands, so now I can see what color it is. Am I feeling a little bit like smart alecky? I don't know. I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna go, actually I've got some wipes. This is from those little shards of ink that came off the edges of the sample vial. So dried ink, once re-wetted, is still ink. So be cautious. Alright. Boy, that was an adventure. Again. Alright, so here's our pens. This is a mess, guys, and I just, whew, I feel a little nutty at the moment. So, let me move this out of the way. Oh no!
One eternity later.
Okay, here we are. Okay, here we are. Our 3 mystery matchups ready to test. We'll go in order. Hopefully no more issues here. Alright, this is a Lamy Safari in Neon Coral. This would have been a limited edition from 2014 14 or 15. And I have the ink that matches it, and I really like that ink as well. I don't use it all the time because it's a little light for like everyday use, but it's a pretty bright coral. It's even more orangey than this pen is. This pen is a little pinker. And this ink, oh, this has a steel fine nib. And this ink is DeAtramentis Black Blue. I know I said blue black, but it's black. Blue. I mean, it feels pretty good on this paper. I tend to not like the Safaris because of the triangular grip. And I don't always love the nibs. This one's fine on this paper, so we'll see how it goes, like, as I use it to journal and stuff like that. Here's a swatch card for Black Blue. Is a nice kind of basic black blue. I don't see any sheen. There's a slightest amount of like redness up here. I would not call it sheen. I don't think, like, there could be the smallest hint, but it's not like shiny. It's just like a little bit of red color, sort of. I don't know. I don't see it on this page at all. So that, that may just be in heavy swatches. Let's see if I can show you up close. And again, my sample is pretty old, so I don't think the color has changed. It smelled fine, so I think it's okay, but I could have brought this lower. I'm sorry, everybody. I am sort of out of practice. Not that I was ever super in practice, as you well know, but I feel out of practice. So here is the Kaweco Skyline Sport. This is like one of the standard colors, I think. I remember buying this one in person at my local, one of our local office supply stores. It's like a big store that lots and lots of local businesses use to get their supplies. It's not Office Depot or Staples, it's a local one. And they have several fountain pens in a case, but there was nobody on staff who knew anything about them. And in fact, I had to tell them how much to charge me for this. They didn't know how much it cost and couldn't find it in their system. And so I did a Google search and was like, here's the lowest regular going price for this. And that's what they charged me. So maybe it was even less. Maybe it was like $20. I mean, it was like, I got it for a good deal. Anyway, I was with my sister when that happened too. It's kind of nice. We got to find a medium and a broad nib so we can kind of see. So this is a Kaweco Skyline Sport. Bothers me that I did two different S's there. Pink. This has a steel medium nib. This ink is really wet. Are you able to see? Oh, it's not shiny anymore. Okay. It's drying down fairly quickly, but it is a pretty wet ink, and this nib is smooth and pretty wet too. This ink is DeAtramentis. Oh, I just realized we have two DeAtramentis inks. I usually, oh man. I usually try not to do the same brand, but oh well. It's what I drew, and it's one of the first times that we've done this, and I haven't immediately put back, traded out a bunch of the different things. So kind of worked out. Super, super smooth. This ink flows really well. If you can tolerate floral scents, well, I would say if you like floral scents, this is not offensive. I don't actually smell it right now. in using it, but I do sometimes with my other one when I'm journaling. I smell it when I open the pen. Um, this is a great purple. It's kind of darkish, but it's not like really dark. But it's flowed. It has flowed really well in every pen that I put it in. Um, Always a pretty purple. Oh, and here, let me show you again. Swatch card. In the swatch, it has sheen, but I've never noticed it on paper. I mean, it could, I guess, have a little bit, but again, I think it's more in the heavy swatches than anything. And this would have been kind of a heavy application with a dip pen, you know. So I've never noticed any sheen, but that's not to say that you might not see a little bit. So, all right, last but not least, this is the Esterbrook Esty in Blueberry. It was a limited edition, I think. It was right near the beginning when I didn't realize, like, I wasn't really paying attention to the SD limited editions. And I don't know what made me snatch one up. Like one week I was just like, I need this, and and end up getting it. And I've always enjoyed it since then. So even though I'm not really into broad nibs at the moment, when I am, I have enjoyed this. So, ooh, okay. Really not used to broad nibs. SD, blueberry, and gold. I don't know if this one was offered with silver hardware or not, but I know they used to offer a lot of their pens, you know, in either hardware. Yeah, this ink does not match this at all, and actually it's more similar to that than I expected. Oh, it's got a steel broad nib, and this ink is Birmingham Pen Company Boiler Steam. This nib is really smooth. You know, I feel like most nibs feel really smooth on this old Tomari River paper, but yeah, I like it. It's what I use here in this book, you know. Um, but I mean, if this nib were not smooth, I would have smoothed it by now. So, um, super pretty dark-ish teal. It actually has come out darker than this blue black. Again, could be a little bit because this is an older ink. I don't know. Seems like it would get darker over time though. But that's also in a fine nib. This isn't a broad nib. That would make a difference. And I have a swatch card for this. Couldn't find it because I put it underneath Pennsylvania Railroad instead of just under Boiler Steam. Here is my swatch card. You can see it's quite a dark ink. Yeah, it's coming across a little more teal here than I feel like it is here. Here it just looks more like a dark blue, maybe with a little teal tint, and this is a little more teal. I don't know why, but I like it. I'll be adding these to my pen case, and I'm thinking soon I'll do a just what's in my pen case video, like what are some pens that have been inked for a long time that I'm still using, what are some of the new things that I've inked that are in there, and just kind of go through my pen case with you. So let me know what you think about that. Sorry if this feels a little bit like random and like I don't know what I'm doing, because that's kind of how I feel. And so I'm sorry. I feel like this was a mess. I feel like my brain just can't handle. I feel like my brain is just not handling the like thinking, the talking, and the doing at the same time. You know, here's those 3 pens. They're really nice. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be glad to answer them. Because I probably didn't cover everything that I would have wanted to. But yeah, I'm trying to kind of get back in practice with this. even though I'm kind of not using my pens as much as I used to, and that's not going to be forever probably. I think I'm just kind of in a season at the moment where I'm just not reaching for them as much, and I've said this in a couple of videos lately, so I won't reiterate too much, but um yeah, I feel just sort of out of touch a little bit. But I'm still enjoying pens every night in my journal, to church and Bible study, things like that. Like I'm still using them. It's just not as intense, I guess, as it sometimes is. So, anyway, thank you for hanging out with me. I would say let me know how you like this video, but maybe don't. But yeah, I hope you'll stick around and give me another shot if you think I'm losing my mind. So, anyway, thank you, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.